Gaffer, defeat against Swindon today. What's your overall assessment of that one?
Obviously, ultimately, very, very disappointing. Obviously, gutted. It's probably, I think, even at half time or now, it's probably the lowest I've probably felt in my sort of coaching managerial career, just because I care so much. One, about the football club, the people, the supporters, owners, the staff. So I do feel really, really disappointed. I think, obviously, what don't help, Kane gets injured in the warm-up. Obviously, Naz last week, and we miss him in terms. Then we sort of forced into sort of a change of shape, which you have to be held to account. It obviously did not work. I don't think we've got the legs and mobility to do that. We keep asking, two strikers, can we play a back four? I'd love to play that way at the moment. I just don't think we've got the sort of mobility and legs to be able to do that at the moment, and that massively showed first half. Again, we don't kill it. We kill ourselves. A mistake for the first goal, where we started really positive. We got a corner straight away, and then we get a mistake, their first chance, and they score. And the fragility at the moment because of results, etc. Even though we haven't really been out of games, they've obviously felt that. We felt that. We had a great chance to make it 1-1 with Josh. It's a carbon copy of their third goal, really, inside the post, and we had it wide up. I thought Josh was excellent today, by the way, but it just didn't work. We changed it at half time. I think we didn't look. Well, we lost. It felt like we lost any kind of identity first half, and I think that's the biggest thing that hurts, because it didn't look anything that like I wanted. Doesn't look anything like what the supporters want. And I spoke to a few of them after. I thought they were outstanding, actually, by the way. I thought they were absolutely brilliant, especially with me. I think because they can see I'm hurt and I care, for one. And I completely agree with them. I think we lacked and lost our identity first half, my identity, kind of what a Barrow supporter wants from their team a little bit. So I think we need to get back to that ultimately, and I think we did. There's positives in the second half. We still make loads of mistakes, but I think because we're not open as much second half, we get away with it a little bit, or we're in good positions to get out of them mistakes a little bit. So there's loads to improve, loads for me to think about. I'm ultimately absolutely devastated because, at the end of the day, it's my livelihood at stake. My family's sort of dreams and aspirations, so to speak, are at stake. And that's how I see it every single day. And that's why I work really, really hard every single day. And obviously, I love this football club because of the people behind the scenes are brilliant. Honestly, I love coming here every day and up to the ground, etc. So it hurts, and I feel like there's 20 people in my office at the moment, and I feel alone because ultimately it's my responsibility, accountability, and it's always on my shoulders. And I just need to sort of turn that corner a little bit, get a performance, a crappy, sorry my language, a crappy win. Do you know what I mean? Like a little bit like Colchester. It wasn't great, but we ground out a result. We have to get back to that. We have to get back to that identity we had for the last 6 months of last season, where we beat teams like this. They're a fantastic team, by the way. They've brought unbelievable players in. Wrexham, 2 championship players like the other day, internationals as well on deadline day. So, but we still competed with them regardless of what they've got and what we haven't. So we have to get back to that. We had a good chat with the players after the game. Look, I like every single one of them players in there because they're good lads. I didn't like their performance first half. I just felt they hid a little bit, which is understandable sometimes when you're lacking belief in confidence. But we have to get past that. We have to run, we have to graft, we have to work hard, and I'm sure we will do.
Yeah, I mean, after back-to-back home defeats, like you say, it's naturally a really disappointing feeling right now. But 39 other league games to play. How important is it to look at that bigger picture?
Thank God you're positive, mate, because sometimes I need that. Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're only 7 games in, and we've probably played sort of the top teams in the league pretty much so far. And probably before today, that's what I mean. Obviously, we've got a lot of players out, suspended, injured. my hand was forced, or our hand was forced to change something which ultimately didn't work. I need to learn from that. And look, I'm watching games of football, and every game I'm thinking, you know, we're better than that. Or we can, do you know what I mean? So we're not a million miles away. You know, that hurt obviously. So I think even more so now. I think we go back to what I trust, what we know, how we're going to get results. Where we have, even this season, we've got a couple of good results against top teams. You know, we have to go back to that. And like I said, you hit the nail on the head there. You sort of 39 games left. You know, loads of positives. There's positives to take in difficult moments. And you know, we'll try our best, and I'll try my best to turn that around. And I'm sure the players will, because ultimately they do care. I thought it didn't look like that first half, but they do. And I'll get that out of them. I have to pick players now who I trust and know is going to run for a brick wall for this football club. And you know, that's my job to find obviously that kind of sort of winning formula really.
On that injury front, obviously Kano dropped out. The starting
You're positive
11.
a minute ago. Now you're yeah. Go on, sorry mate.
Kano dropping out of that starting 11. What is the situation with Kano right now?
He's been outstanding the last couple of weeks. That's why we put him in the starting team. We had a game the other day. He was excellent. You know, he only played 40 minutes the other day, and we thought he was ready to start. And ultimately, he's done his calf or something in the warm up, which is obviously frustrating. We've only got 6 on the bench anyway, and then that gets down to 5. You know, I tell Ty yesterday he's not playing, then he comes in. I thought he'd done okay. To be fair to him today. He says only trained one day, comes back in. You know, so I mean, the positives from that are MJ trained for the first time yesterday, but again, not played at all this pre-season, so we have to be mindful of him, but he's in and around it because he's that, you know, experienced. Obviously Naz will be back. Fletch as well started training as well the other day. So we're starting to unfortunately we get 1 or 2 back, and then that happens today. So again, we just have to keep riding this wave a little bit. I think it's more bad luck than anything. You know, obviously I know people will say, oh, we've signed injured players, but if you look at Kane's record, you look at Raheem's record, MJ's record, sort of back in the last season, etc. You know, these were, you know, Fletch, etc. You know, even Foles is, you know, a sort of a freak one. So it's been kind of bad luck, really. But we have to get through these moments with better performances and grind out results until we get everyone back fit. So that's what we'll be looking at in the next week anyway.
Thank you.
What's up, man? Thanks, mate.